Before we get into today's video, I do want to let you guys know that this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance in hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope that y'all had a wonderful weekend. Please tell me you did. Please tell me everybody spent time with their family. Everybody spent time just appreciating and celebrating. And I hope that you just enjoyed being together. So, y'all, I cannot with you guys. Okay, let me say, before I get started in today's video, I want you guys to, there's going to be links down in the description box, okay? I'm going to be giving you guys a lot of my personal opinion, okay? Please go and research everything on your own and come up with your own opinion. I'm going to read an article. We're going to talk about some things. This man that knows Chris Watts or was in prison with Chris Watts that did this article that you guys have been requesting that I speak on has since spoken out since then, I guess a couple times. I've only seen one, but I'll tell you guys that in a second. And I'm going to be giving you guys some hardcore opinions on this situation because I got them. Y'all, all this morning I'm like, they really got me doing this. This is a whole hot mess. If you guys do not know, it has been going crazy all over social media. I must have gotten 50 DMs a day about this, that allegedly Chris Watts said that Nichol Kessinger has written him since he's been in prison, okay, and that he has recently written him. Now, Daily Mail wrote up an article about it and interviewed this guy who was in prison with Chris Watts and said that Chris Watts wrote him and told him and whatever, okay, told him a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to get all into. Ooh, it's going to be juicy today. Right off the bat, when I heard about this, I thought there's no way that this chick really is writing him unless she has something to hide and she's concerned because all of this like 35C, there's still a lot of rumors going around about a bunch of different stuff. There's all kinds of YouTube channels that are saying all kinds of stuff. It is nuts. Okay. My head is spinning over here. I had to take a break from this because I'm like, until something happens, I just can't. Okay. Nevertheless, so let me read you guys the article and then we're going to dive in deep. Lord, a mess. Mistress for whom Chris Watts murdered his wife and children is still in touch with him 3 years after changing her name and going into hiding. Okay. Before we even get into this, do you think Nichol NK is writing him? Do you think? Leave it down below. I want to know. I want to know your opinions. Let me know. Do you think she is? Do you think she is? Okay. The mistress who Chris Watts took his whole family out for, I'm paraphrasing that because I don't want to keep saying the word over and over and over again. We get it. To be back in touch with him 3 years after changing her identity and disappearing. The killer has claimed from jail. So now they're saying that Chris Watts claimed this. Ooh, Daily Mail. Now y'all need to get it together. Y'all are watching this. Get it together, okay? Watts said his mistress NK wrote to him inside the Dodge Correctional Institution in Wisconsin under her new name, fellow inmate David Carter revealed in an exclusive interview with Daily Mail. Kessinger, 32, took on a new identity and moved from her home in Colorado after Watts was arrested for taking out his pregnant wife, Shanann, and their 2 daughters, Bella and Celeste, in August of 2018. He is currently serving 5 life sentences plus 48 years in prison without the possibility of parole. Now, they show a picture of this guy with the letter, this David guy that was allegedly in prison with him, and a letter from Chris Watts. So they're really trying to bring this point home that this man, I mean, he's got his, look at him, he's posing for pictures, professional pictures, holding the letter. David. I'm sure you're probably watching this too. Watts told pen pal Sherilyn Cadle in 2019 that he was still in love with Kessinger and believed that some of the letters he received in prison were from her writing under assumed names. Cadle went on to write a book about their correspondence with the letters. Now Carter, the guy with the picture, has backed those claims that Kessinger does write the man whose crimes shocked the nation, or at least that's what Watts believes she does. Carter, who was released from Dodge on February 27th, said it was back in September of last year that Watts, 35, told him NK was writing him. And Watts claimed that prison authorities discovered what was happening and punished him by suspending his email account, carefully monitoring all of his mail. He wasn't supposed to have any contact with her, but she initiated it by writing him first. Wisconsin Department of Corrections spokesman John Beard said he could comment on Carter's claims, which I'm sure that is he could not. It's probably a typo. I'm assuming. I don't want to put words in their mouth. NK and Watts both worked for an oil company. We know all of that. I don't need to read that. It talks about him confessing. There was never any suspicion that NK knew that he intended to kill his family, but that she was inundated with hate mail, believing their affair was just a harmless fling. She's still living in hiding more than 2.5 years after the situation. Now, and then they post this picture right here, which has a letter. I mean, Daily Mail is really trying to, and this David Carter, honey, he is trying to provide his receipts. Oh, y'all, we're going to get all to this. Good Lord. Carter, 34, said that Chris Watts told him that he took out his whole entire family because he did not want to pay child support. And that he didn't want the son that she was expecting and feared his wife would take their house in Frederick, Colorado in a divorce. I don't buy any of that, though, said Carter, who was jailed for meth possession and for stealing money from his employers, the restaurant chain Arby's. I couldn't ever kill my entire family just because I didn't want to pay child support. I have a lot of things going on in my life, but I have never wanted to stop and kill my whole entire family because I wanted certain things to go my way. Watts took out his whole entire family after she came home from a business trip from Arizona. They tell the story there, talk about burying, y'all know all that. Carter, who is now living in a halfway house in Green Bay, Wisconsin, said that Watts keeps pictures of his 2 daughters pinned up in his cell, but there are no pictures of his wife. He told me he has nightmares every night, and they're always the same, of his 2 girls standing in his cell playing catch. Watts was transferred to Dodge for his own safety after originally being incarcerated for his horrific crimes. Since October, he has been sharing a cell with another child, Killer, Marcus M.J. Johnson, who was sentenced to 40 years in 2015 for reckless homicide. He his girlfriend, 3-year-old son, by dipping him in a scalding hot water because he had soiled his pants. At the trial, Johnson said little Hunter's Wise's death was an accident and he hadn't tested the temperature of the water. Oh my gosh, I could just probably go on and on about that. That is terrible. Hunter's injuries also show that he had been punched in the mouth and whipped. Their cell is about 6 feet by 8 feet, so it's not very big for 2 people, said Carter. But MJ and Chris get along really well, and they look out for each other. Chris sleeps on the bottom bunk. MJ sleeps on the top bunk. Carter's cell is just across the hall, or was just across the hall because he's out now. Chris gets a lot of death threats from other prisoners, and so does MJ because of what they both did. So they weren't able to be put with anyone else. They just put them 2 together. Birds of a feather, I'm reckoning. Birds of a feather, I'm reckoning. Birds of a feather, I reckon. That's what I meant to say, my country self. Watts had previously been in a single cell and was disciplined in July last year after several of his possessions, including boxer shorts, lubrication, baby oil, were found in his friend Dylan Tallman's cell. In an exclusive interview with Daily Mail, Tallman's then girlfriend, Krista, insisted that the 2 men were not lovers. Blah, 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 blah. We know all of this. Carter said that while he was behind bars, he filed a SH complaint against Tallman, who was 32, who was serving time for burglary. Dylan got Krista, ooh, the tea. Dylan got Kristen to send me $40 so I wouldn't pursue the complaint, but he didn't tell her what it was for. Oh, hold that thought, you guys. I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if he receives up to $1,000 a week. He gets a lot of mail, probably from 10 to 20 people a day. Most of it is from admirers, both men and women, but he gets a lot of death threats as well. He gets letters from people wanting to marry him, strangers, We know all that. Let's just keep going here. I'll leave this full article link below. Y'all can read all of this if you'd like. Carter showed Daily Mail a letter that Chris Watts had sent him last July when Carter was being transferred to another prison in Wisconsin. It was full of biblical references. Chris has turned to God in a big way, says Carter. He spends a lot of time reading the Bible, and he's actually a very caring person. Watts is working in a prison kitchen as a butcher, Carter said, cutting up meat for the prison meals. When not working, he spends his hours in the prison law library, preparing for an appeal. I think it's the one thing that keeps him going, said Carter. He seriously thinks he's going to get out one day, although everyone else knows he never will. He failed a lie detector test. He admitted to the police, blah, 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 blah. We know all that. I believe he'll stay in Dodge for the rest of his life is what the guy says. Okay, end of article. So basically, this guy alleges that he was friends with him in there. They talked. He shows this letter here, honey. Does a whole photo shoot with the one letter to prove that he's got some sort of information. Now, let's talk about the situation with NK real quick first and get that out of there. I think it's wishful thinking on Chris's part. I think as somebody who has been in prison, and you guys know, if you've watched any of my videos, you know, when I was 21, I got sentenced to 3 years in prison. I got a ton of videos on them. You can go down below and watch them, okay? Or go through my playlist. Got tons of videos. And I've told you guys in these videos, when you're in prison, all you do is sit there and think. Like your regrets play over and over in your mind. You wonder what other people are doing. Like if you were married when you go in, or if you had a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or even if you were not in a relationship, like you think about what that person is doing. And I can assure you, in my personal opinion, for legal reasons, Chris Watts is sitting around thinking about NK constantly, wondering what she's doing, wonder if she still loves him, and he's going to hold on to any little thing, and he's going to hope forever that one day he's going to get a letter from her. Do I think she's writing him? I don't personally think she is, but there's always a chance, right? And the only reason why I think she would write him, if she is, which I seriously doubt it, but there's always a chance, is because she knows more, and she knows he's getting ready to file this appeal, and she wants to do something about it, and she's getting concerned. That would be the only reason why I think that she would, but I don't think that she is. I also think that it is really possible that even if anything that this guy David is saying is true, and we're going to get to that, I think that it's possible that people are writing him pretending to be her, or pretending to be vague enough to be her. Anybody could do that. I could literally sit down right now and write a letter and say that, you know, I've changed my name. Or I could just write a letter and say, hey, it's me. Like, no, I don't know. Can I write that? And he would read it. He would probably think it was her. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody could write that. So I don't buy that. Next subject. Let's talk about this guy, David Carter, who did this interview. I was watching or listening to this morning, True Psych Ward, and I will leave their video linked down below. So they were talking, and the guy, David, jumped in the chat. So they called him, and he is on the chat with them. Now, I only watched about 15 minutes of it. I started paying attention then. I have not watched the whole thing. I will leave it down below. If you guys got the time, I say go for it. So he jumps on, okay, you guys. First of all, these ladies did an excellent job asking him tough questions without asking him in a threatening way. Like I would have probably been like, now, David, I'm going to need you to tell the truth. Come on. You know dang good and well. You know what I'm saying? But they were really good at like asking the questions without like making him freak out and hang up. So in the beginning, he seems really nervous. And like, to me, he kind of isn't even paying attention. Like he's outside smoking his cigarettes. He's drinking his water, whatever. And then the ladies ask him later on, like, how did you get in contact with the Daily Mail? He said he called the Daily Mail. Okay, so this man gets up out of prison in February, got his one little letter, and decides he's going to call the Daily Mail and do an interview. Already, he sounds, in my personal opinion, like an opportunist. Like, why? What was your motive for that? Now, he did say that he didn't get paid for it, but there had to be some sort of intentions, right? Like, well, they asked him, why did you do the interview then if you didn't get paid? He said, well, I just figured that they would want to know. Really? That's it? That's all you was thinking, okay? Bring it back to in the interview with Daily Mail where he tells them that that other guy, Dylan, SH'd him, like actually harassed. YouTube's terms and policies, y'all forgive me, him, and that he basically had Dylan's girlfriend, Krista, send him $40 in prison so he wouldn't snitch on him. You know what I'm saying? Like you already, sir, you are trying to extort money some way, somehow by this article's, whoever said that. So you had some intentions, okay? He said the reason why he did the interview with Daily Mail was just because he figured they would want to know.
Did anyone like suggest the Daily Mail to you, or you just picked any random news, or do you actually read the Daily Mail? Like it's just interesting that you picked that specific outlet.
I seen that they had like a 2.2 million views per day or something like that, and they had a lot of viewers.
Now, he also says in this interview with these two ladies, and this interview is like less than 24 hours old as of me filming this right now. He says that he didn't actually tell the Daily Mail that Chris told him that NK was writing, that Dylan told him that.
I didn't say that Chris specifically told me that Nikki was writing him. I believe I said that it was rumored that she might have been the one to write. Because that's what Dylan told me.
So now he's kind of like, backpedaling. Well, Chris Watts didn't tell me that. Dylan told me that Chris told him that he thinks it's NK. It's a whole bunch of hoo-ha running around, like... So who really even knows what's the truth? And the letter that he was taking all these pictures with, it's full of just scriptures. Like, I really doubt Chris Watts. Now, he also said that Chris Watts told him the reason why he did that whole thing to his family, okay, was because he didn't want to pay child support. Like, listen, I am not a Chris supporter. You know that. I got a whole playlist. Go for it, okay? Just let them play. Put your headphones in, clean your house, and just listen if you want to know my opinion. However, I don't think he would literally just tell this dude yelling across the cells. He wasn't even in a cell with him. Yeah, I killed him. I didn't want to pay child support. Yeah, I didn't want that baby. Come on. Like, he's real. In my personal opinion, I think he's just making it up he's an opportunist. I think he thought he was going to get something somewhere down the line. The ladies asked him in the interview, why did you contact the Daily Mail? And he said, well, because I looked and I saw that they had 2.2 million followers, subscribers, or whatever he said. Something millions. So, like, he was thinking about all of this stuff while he was doing this. Like, now, a point that I want to bring to you guys is, if you've watched any of my prison videos, you know that I've told you guys that prison is full of people that are going to try to take advantage of you. Like, they're in there, they're scheming, scamming. They was scamming on the streets, hustling on the streets. They don't care about you. They do not care about you, okay? Chris Watts is going to come across people like that for the rest of his life in there that are going to want to talk to him so they can try to get something out of him and continue to drag his name through the mud over and over and over again. And, it's just kind of crazy to think about. And I'm not pitying him by no means. He did what he did. He made that bed. He's going to have to lay right up in it. But I do think it's very interesting because he will really never really be able to trust anybody forever. And he's going to be in prison. So he's going to be wondering if the person in the cell with him is going to take him out. somebody's going to catch him slipping. Somebody's going to snitch on him if he tries to sneak or do any little thing. Or if everybody that's talking to him, he cannot build a genuine connection with, because he does not know what their intentions are. Every person that writes him, he will think about that for the rest of his life. I mean, look at how many people have already tried to, that's had any kind of interaction with him. They've gotten a letter from him, anything. I have seen so many different interviews from so many different people that just since he's been in prison for this few years, that have used their letters or their correspondence with him to some certain degree. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is, and it's never, ever, ever, ever going to change. Now, another thing that this David said in this interview with the two ladies that I thought was so comical was that he was talking about Dylan. Okay, now you guys know Dylan. Okay, Dylan is the guy that I did the whole video on it, and I don't mean to laugh. I'm laughing because I think Chris Watts is such a liar. He lies, and he never takes responsibility for anything as far as I've seen, and in my personal opinion. Chris Watts got in trouble and got written up because his stuff was found in this guy Dylan's cell, and it was like lotion, baby oil, like petroleum jelly, Chris Watts's boxers, and of course Chris Watts, was like, oh, I did, whatever. So Dylan and Chris Watts, it's that guy. They're supposed to be like really close friends, supposed to be writing the spiritual book together. They're brothers, whatever. So this guy, David, in the interview with the ladies said that.
Do you think Dylan's genuine in his friendship with Chris, or do you think Dylan is kind of just hitting a lick, for lack of a better word?
I don't really think that he's friends with anybody. I think that everything that he does, he only wants to benefit himself. If it's not going to help him.
This is Dylan, right?
Yeah. If he's not going to, if he's not going to benefit out of it, I don't see him doing anything or taking on anything. So I think that it was just because he knows how big a situation Chris is, and he knows that if he's
that he could profit from it.
Yeah, if he's situating himself with Chris, he knows that he's going to benefit some way for it. So I don't really see him doing anything just because he wants to in his heart.
And when I listened to that, I thought this guy, in my personal opinion, David, was projecting, which I'm pretty sure Dylan may be too. I mean, I don't know. But the guy, David, was projecting his intentions onto him, because it's like, to me, that guy, David, was doing the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, very interesting. He did say that they were lovers, though. I think the boxers in the cell, you guys already know if you watched the video, my opinions on it. I think that they, was getting real close up in there, probably was. It happens, honey. It happens. Listen, in the male's prison, whenever I was in the female prison, the officers would tell us that when they would go to the male's prison too, that you would literally have men that are in prison that would be on the yard with the other guys. They would have their shirts tied up, bellies hanging out. They'd be out there being the wife and everything. And then their wife and children would come and visit them on the weekends, and they'd put their shirt down, they'd tuck it in, they'd shine their boots, and they'd go out there, what's up, and hug their kids. Honey, it's a whole different world in prison, okay? Just because you look a certain way, they be getting down in the cells, okay? They got their hormones going, in the shower, slapping each other's booties and dropping soap. It happens. So nevertheless, he said that they were lovers. I don't personally believe just because the guy David said it, because I do think that he lies and that he's an opportunist, but I think that anyways. So, and basically also the ladies from True Psych Ward asked him, why would basically Chris tell you this? And he said that, he got to know Chris, and Chris realized that he wouldn't judge him, and that basically he could trust him. And I'm thinking, you sitting up in here saying all this, and you got your butt out of prison and contacted the Daily Mail. So anyways, that is my opinion on the article. You guys sent it to me 1.5 million times. I think it's a bunch of hoopla. I think that the guy, in my personal opinion, for entertainment purposes only, I think he's an opportunist. I think we're going to see a lot of people like this. I think that we need to really second guess anything anybody says that's close to Chris, including Chris. Chris lies too. So I don't know if we'll ever know the truth about anything, but hopefully we will one day. So Thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, my loves, please do not forget to like this video. It's a free way that you can help your girl out. And until next time, I love you guys so very much. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye. Love you guys. Bye.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust.